Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is in preparation for trading on September 1st, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. And if you have questions about your individual investment needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. All right, so we'll start off as usual by looking at our Forex factory calendar here. So today, the big thing today was the data just came in line with expectations. So that wasn't, there was no surprises there. But the big thing that we did see that changed everything was this one here. U.S. Treasury was speaking, and he actually basically came out and he talked about a few different things. He talked about raising the debt ceiling and things like that. So all of that was fine. However, the big thing that he talked about was this: having a weaker USD is better for US dollar, is better for the US. So this was the big thing that really hit the markets, and we just saw everything shot up. So last time this happened was when it was a few months ago, when President Trump had said in a similar interview with one of the news agencies, he has essentially said that we want a weaker dollar. This was just after Fed had raised rates. So it is very important that we keep an eye on our news feed. So this is the news feed that I keep an eye on. It's Squawk. It's with FX Pro. This is they kind of give this FX Pro Squawk. So if you just set up a demo account with them, they will give us the news feed for free. It's part of their package. You can also subscribe to it, but it's cost, I think, £29 a month to subscribe to it, so it's just better to get it cheaper. So what they will tell you is, as something is going on in the market, they will announce it. So that's where I first heard about it, and then of course it was on the news everywhere. But that's what excuse me, that's what shifted things drastically for the US dollar. That we have seen positive data come out for the US dollar this week. So US dollar was, especially going into the non-farm report tomorrow, excuse me, US dollar was very strong, but now everything has changed. So anytime any of the officials come out asking or suggesting that the weaker currency will be better, just make sure, you kind of listen to that, because usually that will trigger selling. So same thing if ECB Draghi comes out and says that euro is too expensive, that will usually cause the euro to drop as well. So anytime there is either the central bankers or president or prime minister of the country or somebody in the very high office comes out and says something like that, expresses concerns about the strength of the currencies, it will cause the currency to drop. So we just saw US dollar drop. So that was the news thing. So we have PMI numbers coming out of both Japan and China, and those will also have an impact for Aussie. Going into tomorrow, the most important thing will be the non-farm payroll, and prior to that, we do have manufacturing PMI numbers and for the British pound, and also PMI numbers out of the Eurozone. So with the non-farm payroll here, very, very important number. We get this once a month, and market will react to this number. So keep that in mind. So the precursor to this is usually the ADP report that comes out on Wednesday. That report was positive. So it showed that there was a gain in the employment. So that was positive. And usually when that is positive, it at least sheds some light on non-farm payroll. But just because that number was positive does not necessarily mean that non-farm payroll number would be positive. So what can we expect out of this? If the non-farm payroll is positive, it will be positive for the US dollar. However, if it's negative, that is going to create a doubly negative impact on the US dollar, especially following today's this comments from from Treasury Secretary about not wanting the US dollar strength. So that will give people more of a reason to sell US dollar. So keep that in mind. A negative number will have a bigger impact than a positive number at this point. So just keep that in mind. We do have manufacturing PMI number for US as well. So again, those numbers are important. So let's go take a look at the market, see what's going on. So here we have the Euro-US dollar here. We had a pin bar, we had a drop, and then we did have another drop, but then it has closed. As we can see, the comments can be so important to our trading. So we went from this being a fully bearish candle earlier today to a bullish candle. So this is a bullish pin bar at this point, which means based on the daily candle close, we are looking at a bullish move to the upside. However, 1.1910-ish, so about 1.1920, let's say that will be an important number. So if the price stays below that, we could see a drop still. Excuse me. Sorry, but otherwise, based on the daily candle close, this looks bullish. And here we are, price came into this support and then has pushed off. So this is the support and resistance that we are looking at. So this is 1920-ish level here, back into right about here. And over here as well. So if the price stays below this, then we could see price come down. But as once it breaks it, we are looking for basically the price to go, and it can go and test the highs. So non-farm payrolls will be something that we'll have to keep in mind, because that will change things. That's a very, very important number. So right now, based on daily close, Euro-US dollar is bullish. Same thing with pound dollar. We did have pound dollar coming down nicely. We had seen a bearish pin bar here, and then today we were seeing a follow through, but now this has as well closed in a very bullish, as a bullish pin bar. So this is a very bullish, this looks very bullish at the moment. So right now we're looking for price to go back into this 129.80-ish level to the top of the pin here. And again, keep in mind, any US dollar crosses will be impacted by non-farm payroll. So here, this is what we're looking at. Price is already strong, as we can see. So normally what happens is when a comment like this comes out, or any kind of important thing that comes out, it is first reflected in the session that it comes out in, so New York session. And then once the Asian session comes and the Asian traders come into play, they will look at the news, and then usually there's a follow through, because right now it came out in the New York session, so both London and New York traders were able to do something with it, and we're talking about larger traders. So as a result of that, now Asians haven't been Asian traders, they haven't had a chance to react to this news and change positions as a result of that. So this is why we generally tend to see a follow through in the Asian session. And of course, this can change based on our non-farm payroll. But for now, as we can see, price was holding below this level, 128.80. It was respecting this level. We had a nice bearish pin bar on 1 hour, but then we had just seen price completely get annihilated. So overall, here right now, we are bullish on pound. Okay, same thing with Aussie here. It looked very bearish, but right now, the way the candle has closed, that is a bullish close on the candle. So right now, we're looking for another move to the upside. With this one, though, what we do need to keep in mind are the commodities. We have to keep in mind commodity prices. So if commodities start reacting negatively, that could have a negative impact on this. But it is a bullish close, so we are into the bottom of the range here as well. So we're looking for price to move up. Now, there is Chinese data coming out, the PMI numbers, that will have an impact on Aussie and New Zealand. But overall, though, it is bullish. So this is where we are. And we are looking for price to go into the top here, 79.95. So about 80 level is what we are looking for. New Zealand US dollar, similar story. It went all the way down here into our support level. it has bounced off of that. Right now, the way the candle has closed, it is, this one is neutral because overall New Zealand dollar is biased to the downside. It is bearish, but with US dollar weakening, it created this long pin in the bottom. So this, excuse me, this looks bullish at the moment, sorry, neutral at the moment, so price could move up higher. And the target for this one would be 72.20. So we're looking for price to move up higher, and that's the target. Overall, though, this is not as bullish as like euro or pound or even the Australian dollar. So a trade idea may be New Zealand against one of the stronger currencies, euro or pound against the New Zealand. So euro New Zealand, pound New Zealand, those crosses will be weaker. Pretty much everything against the New Zealand will be stronger, sorry, because New Zealand is weaker. So that might be a trade idea to explore. So 72.20 is the first target, and then above that 7300 will be the second target to the upside. So this is where we currently are. As long as price holds above the pivot point, we are looking for the move to the upside. Dollar CAD here. Dollar CAD, we got very we had very good data. The GDP numbers came out very strong. The fundamentals for dollar CAD are strong right now. One thing that did cause trouble for the Canadian dollar was the backlog in the oil because of Hurricane Harvey, because of the refineries being impacted. But right now that has shifted, and as a result, so oil went up today. As a result, we saw dollar CAD drop. And today we have had, and then the comments about the US dollar weakness, of course, pushed it down even lower. So this is very bearish close. As a result of that, looking for further move to the downside here, bearish engulfing candle. So looking for next move to the downside, 1.2420 will be the target to the downside for dollar CAD. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss, we have a bearish candle close here. So based on this, we're looking for a further move to the downside. And in this case, we are looking for this one, 1.130. So 1360 level, 1.1360. So this is bearish. Dollar CAD. So the thing with all of these US dollar crosses right now is we're not getting pullbacks just because, like I explained, these folks, Asian traders that have not been, that haven't had the chance to react to those comments, they, as soon as the market opens, that's the first thing they do. They react to these comments. That's why we see these prices, they usually don't have pullbacks. Price generally just tends to continue on when something like this happens. Okay, pound Swiss here. Pound Swiss is overall, it is not bearish like this one. This one we had Euro Swiss franc, we had a bearish engulfing candle, giving it a bearish bias. This one here, though, it still has that bullishness intact in it. Right now, it is right into this support and resistance level. So as long as price stays above this level, 1.2380 level, it still has a bullish bias. So in this case, the target would be to 124.80. So that's where we are looking for price to go to, because it's not an engulfing candle like the other one. So the bullish bias is still intact, and especially with selling in excuse me, in the euro, pound, a lot of selling is also going on in euro pound. So pound has strengthened as a result of that. So here what we could see is once the price breaks this 123.80 level, then we can expect the price to go lower. So that level will be very important. So if it does break below this 123.80 level, then we are looking for a 12300 level for pound Swiss. But as long as this 123.80 holds, we are looking for price to move up higher into 124.80. Dollar Swiss franc. This one is more bearish than pound Swiss here. excuse me, but not as bearish as the Euro Swiss. So here, the reason this is more bearish is just the way the candle is. So here we have pin in the bottom of the candle, not a strong rejection at the top, very small pin in the top. Here we have a bigger pin bar at the top and the price closed into the bottom. And also US dollar overall is weaker today. So as a result, the bias here still is to the downside. We'll probably get a pullback in this one. So the pullback level is about 96.20 level. This is a good pullback level, and then we're looking for price to drop. So in this case, 95.50 is a good level, or even into this 95.20 level, that will be a good level for price to come down to. So bias for this is bearish. Pound yen. Pound yen, similar thing. The close here is very neutral. We have a pin to the upside, pin to the downside, small candle body in the middle. It has respected this 142.90 level. And so we had reaction here and here. So right now this is very neutral, which means it can go in either direction. So if the price goes up, we are looking for basically this type of a move here, price to go and test the level higher and then reject that level. So 142.90 would be a good level to look for a potential short opportunity here. And the target will be basically the bottom of this. So 141.50 will be the target. Other scenario is that it may not pull back as much. Excuse me. So that's the only thing we'll have to keep in mind. But the bias here is that it can go in either direction. So we'll just trade this as a range bound, looking for price for a potential short at 142.90 and a potential long at 141.50. Euro yen. Euro yen here is bearish here. However, it still hasn't managed to close below this 130.90-ish level. So if the price does not break this level and hold below this level, it will still maintain its bullishness just because it's still sitting into the highs. So right now what we see is 3 times price has rejected this level. So that does put a bearish spin on it. So overall the bias will be bearish, but because it is sitting into the highs here, that puts more bullishness into it as well. So that's something we'll have to keep in mind. And as long as this 130.88 level stays intact, it will be bullish. But once this breaks, we are looking for price to drop in that case. And the target here would be 129.60, but the first one will be about 130 level. Aussie yen here, the daily close is bullish here, even though we had a bearish daily pin bar. This one here went to test the highs, but has not retracted from that. It did close up high. So in this case, looking for a further move to the upside. This is another one of those where it is still, see how it's maintaining that bias to the upside. This is what I was talking about, the euro yen as well. So if it doesn't actually break down, chances are that it can go higher. This is exactly what happened with Aussie yen. Bearish, but it did not break down. As a result, see how it stayed above this previous high, and that gives us a bullish bias. So right now we are bullish. It's closed above the previous 2 days, and again 87.50 will be the important level. It needs to break through it for it to truly move on to the next level, and in that case 87.80 will be the next one after that, and then we are looking for 88.20 level will be the one following that. So this will be an important level, 87.50. If it doesn't break though, because it is a strong level, then we could see a drop. And in that case, looking for price to come into 8,700 level. So this is, it's a very small range. So we just need to see which way the price breaks, and that will be, and then we'll have targets around those. Dollar yen, this is bearish, so we have a rejection. This is a pin bar, so looking for price to move lower. But again, this is the level that we were watching yesterday. This is a important level. So if the price does stay above this 110 level, 109.90 level, then it could continue higher, just like we talked about dollar yen here, sorry, Aussie yen. However, once this price breaks down, we're looking for price to come back towards the bottom of the range here. 108.80 level will be the next one to the downside. Euro pound here, euro has been selling, and now we are looking for, see how, so this is a good example actually. So we had a bearish pin bar, sorry, we had a pin bar, bearish engulfing candle, price went and tested this level, but we have a close, sorry, we have a pin to the top here. So even though price hasn't broken this previous low, this gives us a bearish bias because price is holding below the previous high. So in this case, we're looking for a further move to the downside, and 0.9150 will be the next target to the downside. Euro Aussie here, bearish close. Price has been playing with this level for the last few days, hasn't managed to break through this 150.80 level. So now we're looking for price to move lower. 149.30 will be the first target to the downside, and then we're looking for 149.00 as the next target to the downside. So looking for a further move down for Euro Aussie. So that's all I have. Any questions? All right, so looks like that is it. So you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.